Hello, darkness, my old friend. When will this pain ever end? Am I doomed just to repeat having achy legs and sore feet? And the sound in the distance screaming in my head is stomping feet. When will I get to experience the sound of silence? I already talked today uh, and did a video and then fell asleep and woke up like in extreme pain. And the video consisted of me uh, discussing with myself, because I don't see anybody else here, at least nobody visible, that or what I should do about the situation with that woman that's been conning me for like 4.5 months. And I'm just wondering, like, how many times is she responsible for me having sore, unbelievably painful, useless legs like I have right now? How many times is she responsible for me falling? And how much blood has left my body on account of her? And like, what is my social responsibility here? Is this like a bad person? You know, doesn't seem like a bad person, but that's what sociopaths do. Suppose she's going around and like fucking over every person she gets the chance to. And it's like super nice otherwise. Because she is like super nice otherwise. So I'm thinking like, I can't quite make up my mind. So I'm going to take some time to think about it. And I'm supposed to see her Tuesday. And because Monday is when my ceiling's getting ripped up, it'll just give me one less thing to worry about. I'll just cancel on Tuesday, take another couple extra days to think about it. You know, I kind of want to talk to her first, but it's kind of a weird thing because you don't know if she did this to me, if she did this to other people. It's kind of like my responsibility to like fire her, but me getting her fired will like ruin her life for sure because she's got the only source of income. And as far as I know, the unemployment extension bill has not been passed, and she has like literally has a psychotic husband, which you know, unless she's making all that shit up, I don't think so. I didn't ask to see any bruises on her arm for where he said he like grabbed her. He said it was the first time she's been married to him for 11 years. It's like the first time he ever laid hands on her. And like she mentioned before that he does stuff like throws microwaves into the wall and broke their washing machine. And it's like a big dude, like 6'4", and it's so like that. He was supposed to make oatmeal because one of their puppies or a couple of their puppies had like a bad stomach, and he did not like read the directions on the oatmeal container, and just thought you could make oatmeal by throwing oatmeal into a bowl and then throwing some water in it. You know, he thought like any oatmeal is like instant oatmeal basically. But even instant oatmeal, I think you have to heat it up. It's been a while since I've eaten instant oatmeal. But I've been here when she's been on the phone with him trying to calm his psychotic ass down. So, um, yeah, it kind of puts me in a quandary as to what to do. I want to talk to her first, I think, and then maybe like go from there. I mean, I don't like anybody that works at that agency. And it's a horrible thing if you think about it, that they do no COVID testing there, and like it's the equivalent of someone working at a nursing home and not getting tested for COVID, because they just travel around to people's houses, and these people are all, you know, literally they ask me all the time, "Can you wash yourself? Can you take showers by yourself? Do you have trouble getting yourself clean?" So they're dealing with like really old, really disabled, people, all the high risk people for dying from COVID, and they don't test. It's like the replacement woman that came in here that spilled the beans on the other woman, the gold bricker. Um, she said she was never tested. She said her company doesn't test. She said it unequivocally, and she was like, why don't you call them and complain?" And it's like, I don't know. I just don't feel like a crusader at the moment, you know. But anyways, I didn't mention that when you know, it would have been smarter for me to uh, this is literal now. Literally, she was close up enough against me the first time I met her that I could smell her cigarette breath. No mask, not getting tested, going around to other people's houses like that's their job. They get switched from house to house to house too. It's not like they're going and seeing the same people all the time. So my voice is froggy on top of the fact that my legs hurt like a son of a bitch because of the stuff that I did this morning. And you know, I just fell asleep. I tired myself out this morning. And the first video I did was like way more cheerful, but it was too long anyway. Um, but yeah, like I'm super irritable too. So I took like 3 Neuron for the pain, and then my regular dose of Valium, which I skipped this morning because I wanted to get stuff done. I actually took I had the front wheel, which is part of the electric bike system, off of the bike, but because I got nobody to depend on, I do everything myself. I can't even like depend on people that are paid. I took the back wheel off the bicycle, threw it out the window. Then I picked up the frame and threw the frame out the window because I'm really good at like lifting things and throwing them. It's the actual carrying them and walking that I have the problem with. And like I said, there's a medical term for it, but once I reach a certain level of fatigue, look, whereas you would just get tired and be like, ugh, my nerves start misfiring and my feet go astray. You know, it's like I lose function. So like when people get tired, like when you're on a walk, it's just like drudgery. You're just tired. But when I get tired on a walk, it's like stumbling and bumbling drunk. That's what, like I say, when I was younger, I was like, why are the police always stopping me? And my brother-in-law says, that's because you walk like you're drunk. And I'm like, yeah, I do walk a long way. And then start thinking about it. And I'm like, I'm not big at looking in the mirror and stuff and keeping track of appearance. That's why boldness and penile shortcomings snuck up upon me. And, you know, I was like, yeah, okay, I can buy that. That makes sense. I just thought I was in a bad neighborhood. But yeah, okay. I think I'm drunk. I did get stopped once on a bicycle for being drunk. That shouldn't count. I'm not walking. But that was his excuse for stopping me on a bicycle, which is some humiliating shit when you get stopped by a cruiser and you're on a bicycle. He's like, thought I was riding drunk. That's what he said. I never asked him, like, what did you stop me for? Because the last thing I want to be is confrontational with the cop in an isolated area in a bad neighborhood because I don't want to be a YouTube video. Um, but he volunteered the information. He goes, well, I stopped you because, like, it's around time that the bars close around here, and there's a lot of bars in that neighborhood. And a lot of people have DUIs, ride bicycles through here drunk. And I thought, I didn't know like riding a bicycle drunk was a crime. Um, anyways, but yeah, so that's the decision I got to make. And I kind of like, I want to talk to her first. I won't feel like, it's like the deal with the squatters. It's like before I did anything about the squatters, I wanted to confront one of them face to face. And this is before the machete thing. That was sort of a third confrontation with the machete. But the first time, I was like, I went out and I talked to her and I said, look, your name's Jessica, right? She's like, yeah. And I walked out on the porch and I was like, y'all are going to have to start, you know, being a little more quiet at night because I know you don't have a key to the front door. And if you don't start being quiet, I'm gonna start locking you out. And this is after I called my landlord, and my landlord was like, I ain't giving them a key. And I was like, they don't seem to have a key for the front door. And she was like, listen, I live here. I got a right. I got a right to live here, which actually, under the law, she did. But I didn't feel right, squatter or meth head, crazy person or not, unless I confront her like face to face, like that's a slap against my manhood or whatever. So I can't just like call the agency and like never send her here again and never send cigarette breath here again. I don't want, you know, I don't. They'll just probably send somebody worse because I had like I think one aid worker that I liked, maybe two, and this last lady was a pain in the ass, man. She was one of them people wanting to put on a big show. Like I said, she called the office and put it on speakerphone, and like I don't believe her that she's been cleaning houses. Why would she fucking lie about that? Because she offered to do my dishes, and I said, yeah, I already ran through that. I said, I thought you guys weren't allowed to do stuff like that. She's like, what are you talking about? And then, I already told that story in the last thing, which ended up with her like doing a grandstand play, and I'm listening to the main supervisor, and I'm like, she told me who the main supervisor was, what her name was, and I'm like, I usually talk to the other person. I was, she's like, well, the main boss is this person, and I just hate people like that. It's like, what, what is the point of what you just did? And that was when I had the perfect opportunity to get the other woman fired and just say, well, hasn't been doing any work here for like 4 months, and she's told me at least twice. I asked her about it at least twice. When are you guys gonna start being able to do housework again? I could have like said, give me the phone. I think it was fucking my phone anyway, which she defiled with her possible COVID fingers, and but then I would have had to touch the phone that she handled. Because you come in here with no gloves and no mask and just kind of like walked right up on me. And then she wanted to use my phone, and I was like, what the fuck? She said it's easier to clock in on the client's phone. It's like, well, when the other person comes here, they clock in on their own phone in the car before they even get here. And agency is it's run horribly. They have like, they call you like last minute, and sometimes they don't call you at all, and they're just like, they'll reschedule and then they forget to call you, but they reschedule your time slot during the day. They don't call you at all, and sometimes they call you like right before, like a couple hours warning, and other times your appointments say at 1:30 and they show up at 12:30 or 3 o'clock. So it's basically like they're going to come that day. You just have to be prepared for a pop in. They're like almost never at 1:30 do they show up. It like almost never has that ever happened in all the time I've been using this agency, and this is apparently the best one that my care source care source manager could get for me. She's like, this is the best deal, and she's um, pretty conscientious. Care source manager lady. She's pretty conscientious about her job and stays on top of things. He's like, that's the best I could do. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of funny that I've been being careful during the COVID crisis, and this agency's been coming here with people that they haven't been tested, and have been sent like cleaning out people's toilets and God knows what else, um, washing people up bodily, you know, and then coming here. And then I'm sending them to the grocery store, and I'm like, sure, there's hand sanitizer, and they're washing and whatnot, but shouldn't they be tested? Above all people, shouldn't they be tested? Really? You know. Um, so yeah, that's my decision I have to make. Fire, not fire, but I want to talk to her first. That's why I got really mad when I found that out. I didn't want to. jump to any conclusions. And she's like holding the phone up, and I can hear her, and she can hear me, and the person over the phone, and then it's like a three-way conference call, and they're waiting for me to drop a name on why my house hasn't been being cleaned. And the lady like was acting, this cigarette breath lady was acting like she was had a grudge against the other person and wanted her fired because she was like, yeah, and his house looks like it hasn't been cleaned for a damn long time too. I'm like, what? So I was like, look, it might be me. I might have got the wrong impression, because she said, let me check. I don't think any such letter was sent. Let me check. And then she checked the letters that they send out, and she's like, yeah, a letter was sent about the drugstore and about only going to one store, but we never sent any letters saying that they couldn't do housework. So I figure what I did was I inferred improperly that when they said the only thing they were allowed to do was that drugstore and one thing, they meant like they were limiting trips to that. I'd have to have the letter, and like I told the dumb bitches, like, I crumpled that fucker up and threw it out a long time ago. Um, but I might have like misinterpreted that as to like that's the only thing that they could do. 'Cause it would make sense if you think about it. Oh, especially if they're not tested, that you wouldn't want them hanging around your house all that long. So what I could do is uh, talk to the lazy person first, and then talk to a supervisor and find out was like, according to cigarette breath, um, I'll just call it dragon breath from now on. According to dragon breath, like she's been working and doing housework the whole time, so there was never a moratorium on cleaning. Because I thought maybe at first there was a moratorium, like until they found out mortality rates. But even so, if you can follow my reasoning, it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't like want to hang around people's houses too long and get too involved in um, their dishes and stuff. But part of their job is like making sure old people are properly washed up and cleaned, and God knows, how bad off the people are that they're actually taking care of. They might be like bedridden and stuff. I don't really know. You know, um, that's just the decision that I have to make. It's like, I think of like how everything's interconnected, and like, I don't know. Like, is this person like doing this to other people? If she's doing it to me, I'm a pretty nice guy, and I treat her pretty good, and she can see that I'm in obvious pain, and she can see that I'm like wobbly and shit. And I almost fell over in front of her a couple of times. She's like, "Whoa, you all right?" And that would probably mean that she would have no trouble doing that to anybody else that was less of a nice guy and less nice to her and less willing to listen to her problems and her talk and her, ask her about her life. Because I know that um, she was in the process of helping her father buy a house. Her father has like a younger wife that I know all about her life and stuff, because I ask her, and how people's most dear topic is themselves. It's just the way it is. Um, you have to be honest. And so like you want to get somebody talking, you just ask them about themselves. So I always ask her about herself, give her a chance. Maybe she don't have anybody to like let off steam and talk about, So I listen, and then I keep track of, as a mental exercise, you could say, I keep track of like, how's it going with your house, or that she or having your father live next door to you, and you get along with your father good, stuff like that. Taking a personal interest in her life and showing concern for her and being nice and polite to her like all the time. And I even throw in little things like, well, you'll figure it out. You're an intelligent person. Like give her like minor little compliments, you know. And so what I'm saying is, if I'm nice and she's willing to fuck me over to that degree, what would she be willing to do to somebody who's not nice if she could get away with it? So maybe she should be fired. But if she is fired, she's got, as far as I know, I don't know what. Uh, I don't think her husband works. I think he's too gone in the capesa to work. Too loco in la capesa or loca pesa. I don't know. There's like a feminine, masculine uh, tense in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I might even capesa might even be wrong. But I don't think he works. I think that's like their sole source of income from for their household. So I take all that into account. Where like I don't know, a normal person would probably be like, "You fucked me over. You're not doing your job anyway, so you need to be fired from your job and let the chips fall where they may." You know, or maybe somebody else would be like, with my temper, would be like, "I don't need to see her anymore because I'm allowed to lose my temper." I already know that no matter how bad I lose my temper, I won't hit a woman because I lost my shit completely with Bootsy in that old story that I told before, where she was in my house. I was dumb enough to let her in my house after midnight. She's drunk and she's bumming money off me to get more drunk. And I already told her, man, I ain't loaning you no more money until you pay me back whatever I at the time. So she's like had this habit of going like this and say, smacking her hand like this, like some sort of orator, like a Bill Clinton type of gesture or something. And she'd be like, I'm good for it. I'll pay you back. And I'm like, man. She just kept on. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. And that's where went and hit the door. And I thought she had left the door open, but she had closed it. So I hit like a closed door with a straight stiff arm, like really freaking hard, and sent a jolt up into my shoulder. And I was like, oh. And I opened the door and I did the same thing and slammed the door open. I was like, get the fuck out of my house. And then she kept on, so I followed her out in the hallway. And I'm like, man, if you was a man, there would be blood on this floor already. And people upstairs like, hey, you can't talk to her that way. And I was like, I'll talk to her any goddamn way I want to, you know. And I'm like, you think you're the only motherfuckers in this building that can yell? I basically called out the whole upstairs. And there's dudes up there, and they didn't come down. Like I said, the only person that came down was her daughter, and somebody in their like mid 20s, and that she showed me before she carries a box cutter. Real pretty black girl. Um, and when I say black, I mean like I'm saying that she's black because she was like onyx black, dark. But anyways, which is made like gave her that exotic. I don't know. Why am I explaining myself? There's no way I can condition myself to say like darker hued or to stop the whole racial thing. The racial thing is too ingrained in culture and society. We're never going to get rid of it. We're stuck with it. But anyways, that's what I remember most about her is like she was really pretty. She had no body to speak of because she wore a two-piece bikini and was walking around on the front porch, and I wasn't like, not much to look at. It's like, well, your face is your best feature. Um, but anyways, I knew she carried a box cutter, and I know you ain't bumping up against my mom. I already told all that shit before, but the point is, I was gone. I was ready to fight anybody, and and they were like, "We're gonna tell the landlord about this." I'm like, "Why don't you tell the landlord? And while you're at it, why don't you call the goddamn police?" But whatever you do, you need to get your fucking asses back up the stairs. And the dude upstairs that was like, "You can't talk to her that way," who was like anywhere from 25 to 30. He wasn't coming down. The other people up there wasn't coming down. There was two houses or two apartments of people up there that was hearing me yell. But yeah, like for me to hit a woman, they would have to hit me first. Then they might get hit. But just for me to lose my temper, you know, I don't know. I ain't never had a woman really hit me since I had a girl beat me up when in grade school. Not really, but it looked that way, which was very bad for my reputation and cost a lot of dudes beatings that I had to get my reputation back after getting. I got um, tackled or pushed down by a girl named Julie Sarno when I was a little kid. And man, that is a bad thing back in the day. That's a bad thing. If you got all the other guys like, you got beat up by a girl. It's like, okay, now I got to beat up a bunch of dudes. Okay, man, damn it, it's gonna take what, like about 10 dudes at least. I got to beat up. I will start with this guy over here. It's run his damn mouth. But anyways, um, so the point of all that nonsense was, besides the fact that it amuses me, is like I get mad. I like to like take it down, think it out. Don't just jump on a spur of the moment. Don't just get the woman fired just because, like, if I say the wrong, I'm like, I stopped. And I'm like, if I say the wrong thing right here, this woman's probably getting fired, because this woman, Dragon Breath, wants her fired. Disembodied voice on the phone seems to want her fired. They're just waiting for me to give the go ahead. And I'm like, look, I could have misinterpreted the letter I got. Like, I could have not understood the situation. Nobody told me outright that there was no housework to be done. Which she didn't tell me that outright. I would ask her about it, and she would say, "I don't know." You know. And when I mentioned it, she was just like, the first time I'm remembering now. The first time I mentioned it, she like didn't say anything. She like stored it away like a squirrel storing away a nut, and was like, yeah, okay. Because that particular day, I didn't want her to do any housework. I didn't ask her to do any housework. So I was like, uh, said something about, so you're not allowed to do housework anymore? Well, it doesn't really matter. I gotta send you to get some stuff at the grocery store anyway. And a lot of times I don't like them doing too much housework because it's too intrusive. And they had one like crazy hopped up woman that like, my supervisor told me that your house is getting clean, and she cleaned this place all the way to the bathroom and stopped at the bathroom, but everything else was cleaned. She only had so much time is what it was. She only had like an hour and a half, but she went through here like a whirlwind, like just. I wasn't stopping her. Nothing I was saying was stopping her, and I had to go back and like, well, this goes over here. Where did she put this? Why did she put this here? It was like, oh my God, she touched my baseball cards. Those are delicate, like jersey cards that are not properly in cases, and she hope she didn't hurt them, And they were in like this box, so she didn't know what it was. She just grabbed the box and moved it over here roughly, and I didn't see her do it. She was doing everything roughly, so. You know. But yeah, um, so I can see why a lot of you are saying thumbs down Roman Coliseum thing, which actually it's a thumbs up, which many of you probably already know. Like, should I kill him, Emperor? Thumbs up. Thumbs down meant spare him. Thumbs up meant go ahead and kill the motherfucker, just in case you didn't know that. So that for somehow they got flipped around through the ages. Um, but anyways, not sure I can be interesting. I'm never sure of that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, one other thing happened, which I mentioned on the other thing, is my brother did a 180, which wasn't completely surprising about the melatonin thing. He said he didn't want anything that came from a doctor, and it's like, when I talked to him about it before, when he said, yeah, he tried the melatonin for a severe sleep disruption problem, it's like it's not like you can say no to it because your pineal gland is producing melatonin as we speak. It's already being injected into your body. But he's like, I don't want anything that comes from a doctor. And he's, I was like, well, I'm not sure that makes any sense. Is about all I said about it. He goes, well, that's just my policy, or something along those lines. Or no, he uses the word code a lot. He's like, that's just my code. And I was like, well, I'm not going to argue with you about it because I don't care. Which was kind of a lie, because it just irritates me, because I'll have to listen to him complain about, oh, I didn't get enough sleep, or oh, I'm sleepy. And you know, I think what I'm going to do is, like, I've offered you a natural solution to that, so I don't want to hear it. You know, I don't care, and I don't want to hear it. I don't care if you're sleepy. You don't do anything about your problems. I don't want to hear it, because I try to do things about my problems, like my leg, and what comes of it? Nothing. I try to do things like, getting people in here to help me with housework, and what comes of it? Nothing. If you don't try to fix your problems, I don't see where you got a fucking right to complain about them. That seem fair to you? I mean, if you're trying to fix your problems, then you can complain. If you don't have a doctor because your doctor turns out to be in jail for rape, then you maybe can complain. Which, by the way, I got an appointment set up with a doctor on September 3rd, I think. And I didn't even do it. The Coleman guy that was supposed to, I don't know what the hell his job description is, but he's the guy that's supposed to help me find real estate. He was like, do you want me to find you a primary caregiver? I'm like, well, I need one, so I guess. So he's like, yeah, he set me up with an appointment. He said, I can even, like, uh, drive you there. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to run out of this. I'm going to keep using these legs. I'm probably going to need more Neurontin, because I'm going to run out of them. Because the pain is just excruciating. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're down to there now. So, you know, I got to take like 3 and 4 of them at a time. The minimum 2 for them to do anything. Um, I counted out my volume. I'm still, let's see, I'm 3 days ahead. That's 9 pills. I'm 9 pills ahead if I take 3 pills a day, which oftentimes I just take 2 pills a day. I'll probably take 2 pills a day today, for instance. So I'm doing good, I guess you could say, on that, and doing bad on the Neurontin thing, which the Neurontin thing is a potentiator for volume, which means, you know, it's like fuel injection on a carburetor. It makes it more powerful. My voice seems to be going anyway. But yeah, I got more work to do in here. I got about 48 hours to do it, and no help. And the dude that I paid $100. The whole point of me, like, engaging the dude and paying him the money was to get this place squared away before the 3rd. But he don't drive, and his girlfriend is, is on like a 4-day vacation, which he left for immediately, and he's not motivated. So, you know, he's on his own, and I don't know what he's planning on doing, but he don't seem to care that much about money. Because I told him, like, man, you want paid? Go. I got an envelope full of money in the drawer over there. Go fetch it. So he knows I got like a shitload of money in the house. All he has to do is come here and, like, put in some blinds and do a few things, and he'll get like way overpaid for it. But it's just not worth it to him to um, figure out how to get here, or even like on the days when his girlfriend was working, like asking her to drop him off here for like a whole day, and we could knock it out like in a whole day. And he can walk, so he can walk down to the gas station and use the bathroom, so he doesn't have to use my bathroom. And there's probably the cure for several diseases, like some kind of like I used to make that joke about when I lived in this other apartment that had this funky sink, I was like, man, it was probably the cure for penicillin. Like penicillin was cooked up as a cure for other things. Like that was probably the cure for penicillin in this sink. God only knows what's in there. When they screwed up my sink, and it was an old flat bottom sink, and water used to lay in there and get all funky and stuff. Because as we've established, I am just a po' boy. Um, but anyways, so a couple of things happened. I'm not wasn't surprised at all that my brother would. It was almost like we were raised that suffering is like a virtue in our family. Um, like like unhappiness was the natural course of events or whatever. I remember being a kid, and I wasn't even a kid. I had already moved out of the house. I was in my early 20s. I was maybe like 25. I'm 52, so I'm allowed to say I was a kid if I was 25. But anyways, I went back there, and that's when the Indians started to be good in '94 and '95. I mean, like really good, like World Series good. And this dude hit a home run, and I was like, yeah. And I put my arms up in the air, and my dad was like, hey, man, settle down. Like I was a kid or something. We don't do happiness around here, man. This is a place for sobriety, somberness, and sadness. We don't do happiness, excitedness, or spontaneous moments of joy around here. So, yeah, it's almost like you don't have to be miserable. It's like you don't have to have these sleep problems. You don't have to. Uh, there's stuff that there's stuff that you could help that could help you. Like even like he's got like anxiety. Like I'm not recommending benzos to him, but I was like, you can. I was trying to like encourage him to do stuff like for his health and stuff. I'm like, you can just get like bombed on benzos for like that one day, and you won't give a damn about nothing. If you have to like go to the dentist or something like that, and he hasn't been to the dentist in 30 years, he hasn't been to the doctor in 30 years, he won't even take medication secondhand through the doctor that his body produces naturally. And I explained to him, like, your doctor will prescribe baby aspirin, which makes no sense. Your doctor, I've been wearing my glasses this whole time being rude, sorry. Your body, or your doctor will prescribe ibuprofen for like getting a tooth pulled, and it's like an 800 milligram like fat pill, and it's like, well, you can just buy ibuprofen and look at the milligram dosage on the pills and just like take 5 of them, and it's the same damn thing. So doctors will actually prescribe over-the-counter medication for you. It's like I've already had like prescriptions for baby aspirin to thin my blood, like, I don't know, back in my 40s. um, so it's but it came from a doctor. And yeah, my brother's a doctor racist, hates doctors so much. He don't want anything that comes from a doctor, even if his body is producing it naturally at the moment. And it's completely non-addictive, safe substance, and it's really fairly effective, um, as far as putting you to sleep. So it seems to work for me. I mean, I had like 11 extra pills I was going to give him because I wasn't taking, you know, I had a 30-day supply for a month, and I have a refill on it. But I was like, hey, I'm not going to, that's up to you, man. I was like, live your own life. It just means more pills for me. It's like, I'm not going to like try to reason with him, because there ain't no reasoning with, one thing I've learned, man, is you cannot fight illogic with logic, because illogic always wins. Always. If a person is willing to embrace illogical ideas and believe in witches, and that people are categorically different because of the color of their skin, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing, you can't. Yeah, like I said, man, logic is defenseless. That's just one of them things where I throw up my hands. If I'm talking to somebody on the internet that's not making any sense, or when I'm writing, I just throw up my hands, like, you know, wave the white flag and wish them a nice life and hope good fortune in whatever universe they're living in. It's not one based in reality, but okay. But no, I'm not going to sit there and reason with them. And I've tried that in the past and it doesn't work. It's like, okay, you don't want to help yourself. Don't want to be miserable, but at the same time, don't complain to me about it because I'll be like, if he complains to me about not sleeping, I'm just going to say I offered you a solution to that. You didn't even try it. You know, if he wants to get salty and angry, he can get salty and angry. I don't care. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all that happened. I was kind of like just mulling over my decision. Like, maybe that woman needs fired and needs her life blown up. I mean, I don't know what the hell she's doing. If she needs that job that bad, you know, you think if you need a job that bad, you wouldn't take those kind of chances. Um, the book of Proverbs says, "Beware the wrath of a patient man." And just because I'm a nice guy, it doesn't mean that I won't get her fired and that I won't blow up her life. Just like I'm a nice man, but when that dude sprayed me with poison, I made sure he was emotionally terrorized. Um, even to the that was not a cool thing to do, but even to the point where I was like, yeah, he was talking about having kids, and I tore up $100 bill and put it in an envelope for him because, well, you know the whole story of that, or you can look it up or whatever. But I tore up $100 bill, which is an insane thing to do, um, to show him that I don't give a fuck about money. This isn't about money because we had an agreement where he was going to pay me $500, and then we're just gonna, shake hands and call it done. But he was worried about me like coming back on him for more money, not understanding the law at all, that his payment of $500 is an automatic admission of guilt, and the fact that he wrote it in a text is an automatic confession that I could have took to court and said, look, and then got way more money out of him. But instead, I didn't want to go through the court process, so I tore up a $100 bill, put it in an envelope, and then I put in a football card of Baker Mayfield, the local hero at the time, and I said, "This is for your kids. I hope they enjoy it." You know, and just let him make of it what he would. And not a particularly cool thing to reference his kid and tear up a $100 bill and put it in an envelope. That just goes to show you that, I was like, I'm gonna take that $500 out of your hide. I was like, that money don't mean that much to me. This $100 bill don't mean that much to me. That's only a fifth of what I was asking you for, which was a fair payment for 3 days of being sick from being sprayed with bug poison. So just because I'm a nice guy, don't mean I won't get that woman fired if I feel like it's the appropriate thing to do. I just don't know yet. You know, I mean, uh, I want to talk to her first, and but there's no way in hell that like I said, that she's not doing work at other people's houses or she doesn't know her job. But I just want to confront her first and find out what's what, and just I'll tell her, like, I could have got you fired, over this, and I will tell her that. But I didn't want to, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. Cause yeah, cause you cost. I just don't like getting angry. I don't. I don't like losing my temper. It's not good for me. It's not healthy for me. But repression also is not healthy for you. So it's best to express yourself as calmly as possible without throwing things or hands in people's directions. Um, but yeah, I don't like confrontation. I don't like getting angry. I've been in too many fights in my life uh, as a younger person, and that doesn't mean that you can push me over and that you could, like. I'm thinking about, like, the pills are kicking in now, and the paint, the edge is coming off of the paint. So I'm thinking about like all the pain that I went through, and I was like, how much of that can be attributed to that person's laziness? And she's a great big person, a lot of extra weight. I don't know. I would guesstimate her weight is anywhere from between 250 to 300 pounds, and she's maybe 5'5". I don't know. I never paid that much attention. I know I'm much taller than her, but maybe she comes up to here, man. I don't know. It's not like I was keeping track. It's more interested, like I said, I'm more interested in the content of your character. You know, unless you're like 25 years old and walking down the street in booty shorts, then maybe I'm not interested so much in the content of your character at that point in time. But if I'm talking to you and if we're gonna have like several meetings or whatever, um, yeah, I pay attention to more like what's going on up here. If they got any brains, if they got any personality, if they got any sense of humor and stuff like that. I remember her name. That's how good looking she was. But I remember like I had a caseworker. Like I was talking about the time that I got humiliated by a cop. I used to have to go down to welfare, and this woman I had never met before was like uh, a caseworker that was assigned to me. Her name, which I can still remember, that's how good looking she was Kristen Blankenship. And yeah, I sat there and was just like in awe of looking at her for like a really long time before I realized like I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. I have no idea. It's like I'm not sure she's making a whole lot of sense at all. Like so you can be I won't be vulgar, but you can be struck blank struck by as a dude, like just like whoa, you know. And but the thing of it is it doesn't last that long, you know. If I guess if you're a stupid idiot of a guy and maybe a younger dude, or like you're in a state of extreme horniness or whatever, maybe it lasts longer or whatever. But if you're a reasonable dude like me, it doesn't last that long before you like start listening to what they're saying and finding out like yeah, they're stupid, or they got uh, the voice thing always clicks for me like right away. It's like irritating voice. Voice is a big deal to me. That's like a big deal. Um, but the personality thing is like the looks thing only carries you through like the first half hour, and then you're just yeah. Then like reality sets in. Like you have the personality, you got the intelligence, you got the wit, you got the sense of humor, and all the other attributes that in the long run are way more important and way more self-sustaining than beauty, because the season of beauty in any human type person is very short. I used to be beautiful once. I used to be one of the beautiful people. So, that's pretty apparent that has faded. I still have the good bone structure though. Good bone structure. Just everything else went to shit. Um, but yeah, in the manly but not overstated chin. Yeah, I still got that, and unusually full lips for a white dude, which I guess that's a good thing. Again with the racial shit, but I guess that's a good thing. Um, Women seem to like that. Um, but anyways, not that it ever did me any good due to the my extremely bizarre life and situations and physical conditions, etc., 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 ad nauseum, which you have all heard before. I did that thing, the Anthony Brian Logan thing, where he's like makes hands gestures, and it's like I bet that guy can palm a basketball, which I can't palm a basketball. By the way, my hands aren't that big. So, but that guy looks like he's got the long basketball palming type fingers, and he's always making hand gestures like this, like toward the camera, which makes his hands look even huger. But I'm just babbling like a fool, which I'm exceptional at, especially when I got a little bit of a buzz on. But see, now I'm not good for housework, or I'm not sure what kind of work I can do. I can maybe like organize some things, but I get kind of dizzy from the Neuron, especially mixed with the volume. I get kind of dizzy. It's kind of dangerous. Like almost pull the refrigerator down upon yourself. Dangerous. Which I've done that a couple of times, fallen and just reached out reflexively and grabbed the hold of the handle of the refrigerator and then let go of it real quick. I did that with my old plasma TV, which I fell in front of my plasma TV, which is very heavy. And I grabbed the hold of the top of it to steady myself, and I realized, like, all I'm going to do is pull my TV down on top of myself, which is going to be bad for me and bad for my TV, so I, override my reflexes and let go of it. And then, override my reflexes and not try to catch yourself with the refrigerator when you weigh as much as I do, because you're going to pull the refrigerator down upon yourself like a deadfall. Best case scenario is what happened to me, which the refrigerator rocked back and forth, and the frozen dinners, which I had about 32 of them, of those icky Meals on Wheels frozen dinners before I switched to Global Foods, and they hit the freezer door and forced the freezer door open, and then I just got showered and pelted with frozen food, which is not particularly comfortable and a very strange experience. And then I'm just laying there in a pool of like frozen food, and there's like, I remember looking to the right of me and seeing like just a block of peas. It's just by itself because one of them exploded, because they don't, the Meals on Wheels meals, they don't come in any box or anything like that. They're just like the container that you put in the microwave with cellophane over top of it. So a couple of them exploded. uh, uh, that hit me. Maybe they hit me in the head and exploded. I don't know, but got showered. I think I had the precise number because some of them actually stayed in the freezer. But I think the precise number that I got hit with was like 24. So I got hit with like 24 frozen dinners. Like tomatoes had a bad performance in the Middle Ages, except for it was frozen dinners. But yeah, I'm smart enough to let go though. It's like, you know, instead of actually pulling the refrigerator or pulling the TV down on myself, it's so much experience falling. Like, yeah, I can think in like a millisecond of like, okay, what do I do here? What's the best thing for me to do here? Like, should I grab the mattress with my broken hand and oh, that hurts? Should I continue to hold on to it, or should I let myself fall over back? Oh, continue to hold on to it, that kind of thing. All right, that's like nearly an hour. That's good enough, I suppose. I don't have um, any other news. I can, of course, ramble incessantly, which some people enjoy and some people do not. I didn't even bother to take off my glasses or change the lighting because I had to move my lamp over there. And I pushed a bunch of stuff in this closet and closed the closet door there this morning. And by pushed, I mean literally pushed across the floor because it's too heavy for me to carry. Again, good at picking up and throwing things, not good at carrying. And carried some stuff out of here and, threw the bike out the window and the wheel. And rearranged some of my cards. And I put my clean clothes in the dresser that I emptied the other day. I did a bunch of shit. That's why my legs hurt. That's why I'm high right now. Is because it's just in too much pain to there's just a fly buzzing around distracting me. It's in too much pain to be of any use, to anybody. And unlike certain people, I would rather do something about my situation than just complain about it to other people. Um, so it doesn't make sense for me to be sleepless or in pain if I have chemicals to counteract that. and it still hurts, but it's just not like screaming type of horrifying, edgy, horrible pain. It kind of renders me dysfunctional, except for it makes me talk a lot. It renders me dysfunctional as far as wanting to do anything, or not necessarily being able to do anything, because I might like wait an hour or so. I'm kind of she threatened yesterday, but I got all her gardening supplies together, and she said she was going to stop over in the late afternoon and give me some farm fresh eggs raised from her chickens, and pick up all her gardening supplies from when I had a garden, or gardening supplies that she had bought me from when I had a garden, and some stuff that I bought too. And I don't know if she'll make it over here or not. Um, but it's all packed. I had it all packed up and set by the door yesterday. All the pots, the garden bags, the neem oil, the Captain Nemo oil, and the Seven Dust. I don't know if any of y'all know what these things are. And gardening staples, watering pot, anything garden related. And get away, fly. And it's all ready to go. As far as like getting this place situated, I'm not trying to impress the landlord or anything like that. It's just stuff that needs done, and I need this area cleared out to where, like, whatever happens, devastation happens into the ceiling in here, there'll be an area, you know, and they'll just put plastic over my bed, and I already have like plastic bags over the TV, and if they have to pick up and move the TV, it's pretty easy to unplug. I only got like a HDMI cable in it, and the plug plugged into the wall, so you know I'll be good to go. I'm not gonna bother sweeping in here until after they tear up the ceiling, of course. I just wanted to get, I just wanted to make it look like a more orderly human being lived here, and that some sort of horrible, rabid, hominid, uh, possible cannibal type person was living here. Because like the disorder and disarray was just was crazy outside, inside this room as well as outside this room, but especially outside this room since I don't live outside. So I just wanted to empty out the whole living room, which I about got accomplished mostly on my own. With yeah, with a little help. Like the only things that I had help with is moving the treadmill into the hallway, and getting rid of the couch, and getting rid of that old scooter, and everything else I did myself, because the bike I took apart and threw out the window myself. The TV stand, which made me fall over, I threw that out the window and it exploded. I threw that out the window toward the garbage cans, and it exploded. And Dragon Breath put the pieces of it into the garbage, along with I was like, "How strong are you?" And she's like, didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like, "I got three really heavy bags out there on the porch. All you gotta do is lift up the cans and put the bags in there." She's like, I could hear her grunting with the effort. Oh, you know. Um, so most of it I did myself, which I suppose I should be proud of, but all it does is cause me like a whole shitload of pain. And today I'm just gonna pack. Today I'll probably finish up by just packing away all my cards for the time being, and I already got them sorted out, but just pack them up in boxes, so I can move that table when I sweep. And the floor is finally going to get swept after like 5 months of not being swept. The last time it was swept was like 5 months ago, because somebody told me that they couldn't do housework. Um, and there was plenty of other stuff in here for me to do, and I don't live out there anyway, so the hell with it. That's the cat. The cat actually gets more space. He gets 3/4 of the apartment. I get 1/4 of it. So that's his spot. He's out there right now. He gets the whole living room and the kitchen, and he likes to lay in the bathroom window because cats and dogs they're not judgmental about smells like people. You know, they don't have the same associations that we have with uncleanliness and foulness. They're like, oh, that smells shitty. Yes. Okay. They make no judgment. In fact, sometimes, as you know, dogs find that stuff very interesting to the point of CARPOPHAGIA, which means something very horrible, which dogs will do. And my brother told me a horrible story about one dog. Ugh. Man, I don't really want to end on this. Too late now. Basically, 2 girls, 1 cup, man. That's all I got to say. That was a phenomenon from back in the day, and I never watched it. But yeah, it was like the dog did not wait to practice carpophagia before it hit the ground. So it was like if somebody, like in a Jim Carrey movie, stuck their head underneath the soft serve ice cream. Now, if you're not thoroughly disgusted with me, I don't know. I've tried my best to horrify and disgust you, but that's my brother's fault. He talks about crap like that, which I forgot, but I should have showed you this cartoon that he made me that I found just rooting through random keepsakes as I was cleaning. It's ancient, but it's a cartoon. Maybe I'll put it up for the next one. But yeah, he's got a foul sense of humor. But that wasn't a sense of humor. That was just like he witnessed that. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen dogs. Dogs are vile, and I guess there's a way that you can stop them from doing that. Uh, yeah, they don't eat shit and die. Like when you tell somebody to eat shit and die, they don't do that. They just eat it. They can eat. Their constitutions are a little different. They can eat rancid crap, and they don't get food poisoning. And they can eat crap, and it doesn't poison them. So that's enough about that, man. I must really be stoned talking about that crap. So I can't end on that. So now I have to talk more because I cannot end on that note. It's just too fucking horrible. But yeah, I had to like. I brought up that word the other day, carpophagus, and yeah, I had to do that. Actually, I don't want to talk about it no more. But I heard there's something concerning lobsters that was not good because lobsters live in a shell, and I've only eaten lobster like once. I'm not big on shellfish anyway. I don't have any allergies or anything like that, so I didn't. Apparently, when you're in a shell, yeah, mm, you probably already know that about lobsters. But anyways, so the good news is that um, once I get this taken care of with the water, I can be free to concentrate on other things besides torturing myself doing work that other people should be doing for me, either because I paid them a lot of money to do it, or I'm going through agencies which are paying them a certain amount of money to do it. But it's like I'm telling you, man, I just like to do things myself because that way I know it's going to get done. I always like to do things myself because that's, you know, I remember like making a comment at a table full of people. I was like, they were, I don't know what they were bothering me about. They were bothering me about something. I was like, look, there's nothing that people can do for me that I wouldn't rather do for myself. And then, of course, somebody said, I can think of one thing. I looked at him and I was like, yeah, there's that one thing. But, anyways, so I can concentrate on selling my cards and seeing how that's going to go. And start watching my bank account go up. Football season is going to be around the corner. Opening day for the Browns, I believe, is September 13th, I think. Um, yeah, so I just went ahead and made a decision that like I'm gonna wait and see how the season goes. I could sell the cards now and play it safe, or I could wait and see how the season goes. And the hype is there right now for the Browns. Cards are selling well, but if they start winning, their head coach, as an offensive coordinator, was on a 10-16 last year. The Minnesota Vikings. He has a scheme that he's going to fit to the team, and it fits the team to a T. So, yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice on that and see if I can really maximize my profits. So I got that to look forward to. But in the meantime, I got to take like a shitload of pictures so I can concentrate on taking the pictures, getting good pictures. It's the main thing you got to have when you sell stuff. And writing, maybe writing ads. It depends how far in the future you're allowed to schedule. And there's some stuff I can sell like right now because this is certainly better than shit talk, but uh, I guess, but it's going to be boring to some people. But because Tom Brady moved from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 1 year contract, the Buccaneers are loading up. This is going to be their year, so there's massive hype surrounding the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this guy is like a Hall of Fame wide receiver, but he's in Tampa Bay. And the guy threw like a record amount of interceptions that Tom Brady's going to take the place of Jameis Winston. But this guy averages 1,200 yards receiving every year, never gets hurt. He's a boring uh, player unless you watch him because his name is Mike Evans. You don't know that name probably. He has no cool nickname like Gronk or anything like that, but he is a Hall of Famer, and now he's going to get all this attention. And I just happened to have, on a whim, bought uh, a bunch of Mike Evans cards last year, and I was watching them, and I'm like, wow, I got like 30 of these cards, and they sold 10 of them for $86, and I paid like $9.99. Uh, like, okay, this is gonna work out really good for me. And then I was able to pick up another auction that I lucked out on just a few weeks ago. That I don't know how that sold for that cheap. And sometimes auctions just fly under the radar. You just have to catch them at the right time. Um, so yeah, there's guys. I'm saying there's guys I can sell now and not have to wait on the Browns season. It's like I have a Browns heavy collection. But I have like a lot of other stuff I can sell before then that is not contingent upon the regular season. Because, yeah, so I can get busy. I can actually put other stuff on now. I can get to work and I can actually do some work. Something that's productive and it's going to make me a lot of money. And I have a doctor's appointment, so I'll have a new doctor to go to that will take care of my basic prescription needs. Uh, for instance, the Neurontin, if I need that, if I continue to have this horrific pain in my legs, which I don't know how long that's going to be or what's going on with that. But also, if you have a primary caregiver, that's a window to other doctors because you can get referrals, you know, and I can, uh, maybe he'll be a good doctor. Maybe he'll be like, you got CRPS, let's see if we can help you. Maybe he'll know something about it. I'm being optimistic now. Maybe he'll like refer me to somebody at the Cleveland Clinic, and if I can't get my knee done from my Omni Orthopedics, I can get it done through the Cleveland Clinic. Maybe I can walk normal again. Anything's possible. I know the fact that my leg works. It just hurts so bad. It's like trying to walk on a piece of broken glass. You can still walk, but you're not going to walk normal on them when you got a piece of broken glass stabbing you in the foot, and you're not going to walk normal when you got that kind of pain in your knee. It's just you you know, I'm not like a professional athlete used to playing with pain in a sport to where like they ignore it I ain't getting paid millions of dollars to do it either. So, um, yeah, so it pain can reach the level where the function is there, but it overrides the function because you can't deal with the amount of pain, and that's kind of where my knee's at. I can't help but react to it and walk differently because of it. So there is a chance that I could uh, go back to walking like I was um, in 1919. Uh, in 2014, I was walking okay. Um, that's about the last time I was walking okay, was 2014. Like there's a possibility that this isn't a permanent thing, and like I haven't been fucked up too long. That's intractable, irreversible, and just is what it is. So I'm still holding out hope for that, even though I've had procedures done on my knee already. I've had already had procedures done on my knee. So I'm, like I said, I'm a very buoyant, half glass full kind of dude. It's one of the traits I inherited from my mother, and so like it's why I'm still alive. It's like there's always possibilities, always possibilities. And if while I'm thinking of it, if a certain person is watching this, 2 more days. I got 2 more days before they can get their medication. So if you're watching this, 2 more days. Um, yeah, I hope you are surviving and doing okay. Uh, because like I have a general concern for mankind. Nobody in particular. Just a general concern. There's of course some people that I like better than other people, or whatever. But I have a general like that's why I don't really like just say "Nope, fired." Our lives impact each other in ways that we can't see. Um, so yeah, it's a ripple effect type of thing. You, you know, butterfly effect or whatever you want to call it. Like I prefer the ripple effect because I'm a fisherman, and yeah, like good deeds, bad deeds. You know, it's like sometimes that's why like a lot of times good and bad. Like I don't know if they call it moral relativism, if you want to get a little philosophical or not. But sometimes what seems to be the bad thing to do, like you're fired, bitch, is the good thing to do. That seems like a bad thing to do, but it might be the good thing to do. But I don't know, how she is conducting herself around her other patients. Sometimes giving somebody a good beating can straighten them out and change their attitude. It's just the way it is. Like I beat up a lot of people when I was young, and then somebody nearly killed me, and I'm like, you know what, this fighting stuff is stupid. It seems really stupid when you don't win and you come home and you're just and you look like Quasimodo. You're like, yeah, this fighting stuff really accomplishes nothing. I don't like it much anymore. So it's like after that, I don't want no part of any more fighting. And then I had surgeries anyway, like not too long after that. But yeah, I I got confrontational with a couple of people after that, but it never got to physical violence. Um, but like after the surgeries and stuff, I would just like bluff people. It was pretty easy most of the time. And also, I was a good judge of who I could bluff and who I couldn't bluff. And yeah, you can bluff people that are bigger than you just by acting. Nobody wants to deal with crazy. You don't fuck with crazy. And yeah, this is the danger of drunk dialing or getting a buzz on and then getting on the internet. But I just couldn't. leave it where it was at that particular point. I couldn't help but go there because I had brought it up, but and I was talking about cats and dogs and animals and how they're non-judgmental when it comes to unfortunate odors. It all got started because my cat has been lying in my bathroom window. Because that way he can look down upon all those other peon cats from on high. And also get fresh air coming in through the. It's a very uncomfortable. It has to be a very uncomfortable spot for him to sit, but it's worth it to him somehow because he can look down at the other cats that are out there, and he can have a view, and he can have the fresh air hitting him and stuff. And he just seems very old to me. I don't know how much longer he's got to live, or how, that's not going to be fun. They don't die quickly and politely. Animals don't. They just so they deteriorate and start having issues. And you know, my sister gave me that cat, and your brain has these silly ass uh, hormones or whatever it is that pops in your head that makes you forget things like, yep, that's a cute little kitten, but that's a tragedy waiting to happen. That's a puppy, but someday that's going to be a dog you're really attached to that's going to die. I've had dogs that I was attached to that been hit by cars, and cats, and getting attached. And the Buddha says, man, attachment is suffering. So I just figured I was healthy then. Good neighborhood for a cat. My sister is palming off this cat on me, and I just was like, okay. I didn't really want a cat, but I was like, yeah, it's a good neighborhood for a cat, and I'm sure it's miserable wherever it is. And then she brought it over here in a box, and it just wouldn't leave the box. And then I would talk to it, and it would do this and cover its eyes. It's a little tiny kitten. However many years ago that was, 9 years ago. And then I just well, okay, you don't like me talking to you, looking at you, or being around you. That's just his personality. I'm like, I do have a feeling he'll probably like food and water, so I put food and water next to his box and sat across the room and watched TV quietly. And I smelled the food, popped out of the box, jumped back in the box. And then he did that for a while. And then, it came time for him to do the necessary. And I was like, well, I got to put a litter box by that box in the living room. So I put the litter box by the box, and then gradually he got used to me. But that first reaction of me talking to him and him trying to hide by covering up his eyes was adorable. And then the first time I got him to go outside, he caught a leaf. He was a little kitten, and he jumped out the window for 2 seconds and he grabbed the leaf off of the porch and brought it back in the house and threw it down in front of me like, haha, I caught a leaf. Yeah, okay. That was funny too. Um, I'm not saying that having a pet's a bad thing. I'm just saying that there's a lot of work, responsibility, and it always ends badly. So, you know, it's sort of like life in general, in microcosm. I guess it's good for children to have animals to get them used to the idea of death and to understand that things get old and they deteriorate and they die, and it kind of prepares them for their parents' death, and just educates them. It's an educational process for young kids, so it's actually good for young kids, especially, to have pets. Um, yeah. But anyways, I think I'm tired of talking. I still haven't erased the memory of the thing that I was talking about that I shouldn't have been talking about. But anyways, even though like I'm stuck taking drugs for pain, and I don't. My life is bleak and difficult. There's, I'm still holding out hope that it can at least be vaguely tolerable. I'm shooting for vaguely tolerable. All I want is vaguely tolerable. I'm actually a very cheerful soul. I wake up in the morning miserable sometimes, but like I got that morning thing where like I want to sing, and I actually do sometimes in the morning, and only sometimes. But yeah, I like mornings. Like the idea of it being a fresh start. It's kind of been fun to have baseball back and to wake up in the morning and drink coffee and watch baseball. It's more fun when they lose and don't play shitty like they did like I watched them do this morning. I figured out the TV so it doesn't spoil the games on me, so I can have the baseball game on, have the computer on at the same time, in case the game gets uh, you know boring, or I can just mess around with the computer. And I got my, I just look at the plus sides. I can sleep in if I can manage it. I don't have anybody ordering me around telling me what to do. I got guaranteed income. I have an uncertain future, and if my future is uncertain, that means there is a possibility of positive changes. Maybe not uh, penile reclamation. I want my penile reparations. Damn it. Maybe that won't happen, but other things might happen. So I think that ship that that ship has sailed, man. I think once you lose in that area, it's not, you don't get it back. It don't happen. It don't work that way. So um, let that be a lesson to any male viewers that are watching this, man. Use it or lose some of it. Yeah, and there ain't no shame in hand-to-gland combat, man, because you always win unless you get interrupted by a phone call or somebody knocking at the door like your aid worker an hour early, and you have to put it away and like, I'll be there in a minute, and then like get dressed and hop to the door and close your bedroom door and go out there and then like talk to some very large unattractive person that has been cheating their company and you, and taking advantage of you. Not only are you taking advantage of me, you're taking away from my recreational time. Damn it. It's wrong. It's just wrong. So, anyways, that is a ridiculous hour and 23-minute length, which is, I'm sure, uh, not cool to many and very off putting to people. Very off putting to certain. Yeah, I like to keep my views down, though. I don't like my views to get too high. I like to keep them down because I don't. It's less work interacting with people. I feel responsible, like for anybody that writes me. I want less people writing me. I like the people that write me now. I don't want more people. I'm awful. I don't want more people writing me, so I have to do more work and do more thinking. And yeah, and do more writing. I'm certainly willing to do it. But yeah, I like to keep my viewership down, and the ridiculous length of these videos accomplishes that fact. And the fact that I'm just like laying in bed, self-indulgently rambling and amusing myself is also very helpful in that regard. Like the one thing that I would be deathly afraid of is any kind of fame or notoriety, or if I was to blow up on YouTube, which is an utter impossibility, and because I am making it that way on purpose. If you enjoy what I do, you're a rare few. On that couplet, I will end, and I will talk to you at a later date, and I will probably be more sober than I am now. Goodbye.